What's up, everybody? It's your boy AlexisMaurice, and this is
TreiHollywood.
Is it Hollywood Trey or Trey?
Well, you call me Hollywood Trey. I say TreiHollywood.
Okay, TreiHollywood. And this is episode 2 of Hollywood Happenings tonight. So we need you guys to go ahead. What did I say?
What's that? Get your wine and
No, I said pour a glass of wine, which we're drinking on Yellowtail Moscato tonight. Put on some lipstick. That's what I said.
That's what you said. Lipstick.
And have a seat while we sit and chat about the things of Hollywood from this past week. But first off, let's go ahead and start talking about today, which is the 44th Presidential Inauguration for the United States of America. This is a big day, great day. History in the making. We have inaugurated President Barack Hussein Obama for the second time. Yeah. It seemed like he kind of stuttered just a little bit when he, was doing this thing today. But we inaugurated him for the second time. For a lot of our grandmothers and great-grandmothers and grandfathers, this was a big, big day. I, for one, never ever thought in my lifetime that I would get to see a black president. So not only have we had a black president, but twice. 2 times in a row. So let's toast to President Barack Hussein Obama.
2 terms.
2 terms. 4 more years. What's all the chance everybody gets? 4 more years.
4 more years, right?
Exactly. First of all, it was a whole bunch of people there. I actually hate that I didn't get up there to get to the inauguration, but it was a lot of people. I'm just watching it. I was in bed, and I wish I had a little American flag, waving the American flag, not fag, but flag. But it was a lot of people there, and kudos to all of you who got the opportunity to get up there to the inauguration and be a part of history. Very, very good. People were turned out in buses. I know a couple of my friends were able to go up there, so it was crawling with people. Shout out to my friend Dante, working for the Secret Service up there in Washington, D.C.
He got it.
But let's go ahead and get into it. First off, what did you think about the inauguration?
Well, I only saw pieces of it because I was on my way back up on the road. But I did get to see Beyonce. I went to see a performance because I saw all this blah, blah, blah. I saw on Twitter that they felt that she was pulling a Whitney Houston. Well, was trying to pull a Whitney Houston.
No, I ain't going to say that. People were just comparing Beyonce to Whitney Houston like I did last week. Because, I said it would have been better off if they just had a hologram of the Queen and just played the old Super Bowl performance that she did. But, okay, Beyonce, the Carters, first of all. That's what everyone was referring to her and Jay-Z as, the Carters. Let's start off with their dress. What did you think about Beyonce's dress? Me personally, I just think it was a lot.
It was
too much. It was too damn much. Let's just get to the point. It was
nice. It was nice, but it was Barack and Michelle Day.
Right.
And I felt like the gays were turning into Beyonce Day.
Right, especially on Twitter. Everybody was going in for Beyonce. And don't get me wrong, guys. I love Beyonce.
You do. Let's make that
we need to make that clear because last week a lot of people felt that we were hating on Beyonce or anything like that. She's awesome. She's a fantastic performer. Not only is she's a performer, but she's an entertainer. I haven't had the opportunity to go see her in concert, but I'm going as soon as the next concert because I heard that bitch be flying in the air.
Amazing.
And all kinds of stuff like that.
I didn't see her. I saw Disney Child.
But I love Beyonce. But I think her dress was entirely too much. Yeah. She had on this full free flowing gown. Ain't nobody was dressed like that. She was the only one dressed in a full gown, and her jewels was on point. Now those emeralds were fire. Mm-hmm. But I just felt that she was just doing entirely too much. What she wore to the actual inauguration, she should have wore that to the ball tonight. Or whatever. She should have just kept it simple, cute, and classy, just like everybody else did. And her hair...
It looks good for better than usual. To me, in my opinion. What is your mouth done for?
It just looked like she was going to a drag show. It was just too big. Everything that she did... costume or attire was just entirely too big.
Well, last week our debate was we just didn't really want her to sing overboard. Mm-hmm. So she didn't sing overboard, but she dressed overboard.
She did. She actually did good. She started off at a good tone, good level, And then when she pulled that earpiece out,
Don't
that
even get me
feedback
started.
mic, she just kind of lost control after that
She lost the
particular
note
point.
too.
Yeah, she lost the note just a little bit, but she came back and she did what she did, you know, and she sung beautifully. Sometimes though, Beyonce, sometimes less is more.
Right.
And I think she could have just toned it down just a little bit because it wasn't a screaming, hollering, hooting, hollering celebration at that time. Or whatever. This is our national anthem, girl. Or whatever. You know, let's make it calm, cool, and collected. Because Whitney Houston, I mean, she just had a powerhouse voice, and she just raised her finger like that, and she was up to the gods, honey.
All the way.
But anywho, but her performance was okay. Her hair was too big. Her dress was entirely too much. I couldn't tell if like me, you were talking. What's that album when she was versus something?
I Am. Sasha Fierce. And
I Am is Beyonce, right?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell if it was Beyonce or Sasha. I didn't know who showed up at the inauguration.
I think when she walked in,
yeah,
and she, you know, met the president,
right,
and that was Beyonce,
right. But
so when she walked up there, that was Sasha.
Okay, right.
So that's what she says though. When she gets in performance, she turns to Sasha.
Okay.
That's why when the I Am was the slow album and the Sasha was all the fast.
So she was Beyonce walking up. You know,
right.
she was doing the whole pageantry thing or whatever. Hair was big and the emeralds were shining, and she was going in. And then when she got to the podium, it was just like,
you saw her look. She was like,
she started, like gazing like this, and all of a sudden she just started performing. Like she just gives me entirely too much sometimes, but that's what real entertainers do. But it was good. Kelly Clarkson, I felt that she was a little flat in the beginning, but it was cold out. So, you know, for all you music people, you know sometimes when it's cold, you get a little flat. But she did pretty good too, and Beyonce did pretty good. So, I mean, overall, Beyonce's performance was pretty good. Let's get into Michelle's jacket, honey. That navy jacket that she had on, bitch, was flawless. You know what? I shouldn't have said that.
What, bitch?
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
Well, you know that terminate. You know,
yeah,
it's
but anywho.
Yeah.
That navy jacket that she had was completely flawless, and she had a little fuchsia-looking gloves on, and her bangs. I didn't like the bangs at first.
Face was beat, though.
Face was beat, too.
Yes.
The bangs are growing on me. I don't know if...
I liked it.
From the beginning?
I loved it because it was just...
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, but she just looked like a picture of elegance or just something like that. She's just so graceful and she's just so all that good stuff like that. But I love me some Michelle. She had looked real good. Jill, what did you think about Jill's coat?
No comment.
No, but the coat was fire. That big ass bow sitting right there in the middle of her coat, looking like a big Christmas January present or something like that to the American people. I really like the bow. I really, really like the bow. You know, wearing bows are very, very risky for women. For example, Nene.
Oh,
when
around the waist?
Yeah, the little bow that she wore to the Golden Globes. No, ma'am, that was a pick-go. Okay, but Jill, she did pretty good. I like the whole little bow that she had.
I think it was my first time seeing her with a little bow, so that's why I probably said no comment.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, what do you think about Hillary? You know, Hillary just got out of the hospital.
I didn't even get to see her, to be honest with you. I only saw I only saw Bill. I didn't see
Bill's a G. He's going to always be a G. He was smooth, but Hillary is starting to look a little aged, though.
Yeah.
She needed to go home and take a nap after the inauguration because I think it was just too much wear and tear on her and her, you know, being Secretary of State and everything like that. But she just looked a little tired. She looks a little weary. Wrinkles in the face. And, you know, I don't know.
You know how they say we age and, you know.
Gracefully.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so.
But they were pretty good. Sasha and Malia. What's the young one?
Out of the daughters?
Yeah.
I think it's Don't Get Me the Line.
Yeah, I don't know which one is which.
Yeah.
But anyway, the youngest one. Yeah, look it up. Which one is the youngest one? But she is so much fun. I can tell, you know, compared to the oldest one, because the oldest one looks more like Michelle, and she's more, you know, reserved. Like she's very educated and all kind of stuff like that. But the little one, she looks like she's going to be a whole bunch of fun. And she's probably going to give Michelle and Barack the most problems, too.
Probably.
Or whatever. Because she was sitting there picking the lint off her jacket or
so
whatever.
Already.
Right, already. Or whatever. But those girls are cute. I really like seeing them. We've basically seen them grow from being little girls to, you know, little young girls or whatever the case may be.
I think Malia is the youngest one.
Malia? Okay.
Yeah. No. Sasha. She was born in 2001. Millie was born in 98.
Okay, so Sasha is the baby girl.
The baby, yeah.
What else happened? What else you thought about the inauguration?
I mean, that's really all I really caught was what we just talked about. Because like I said, I was on the road. So, I mean, I think altogether, I'm just proud of the history. I think a lot of young people, rather it was because of this history, rather because it was African American, or rather because it was Beyonce performing, I think that it was good.
And that was kind of disappointing because a lot of the young people didn't realize
they didn't watch it because of the history.
Yeah, they were just watching to see Beyonce perform, which hopefully they gained something while they watched it. But if not, oh well.
Yeah.
All right, since we're talking about presidents and stuff like that, let's get into Miss Scandal, honey.
Well, let me just say something real quick because I don't want to leave the family. That's the family. Did you hear about supposedly Michelle Obama rolling her eyes at what's the guy named John? I got it somewhere on my phone here. John, what is it? Boner. They had it was like the inauguration breakfast or something. They was, I think, he was talking to Barack and she was sitting between them and like she rolled her eyes supposedly. So they're just making this whole blog thing about it. We don't even hear audio. All we just see is her rolling her eyes. So
and then she did roll her eyes. She
is Michelle. She can roll.
She can roll. She probably got tired of listening to all that bullshit that they was talking at the damn table. It's time to move on to something else.
I cracked up laughing though because it did look like she rolled her eyes, but.
Well, you have to show me that later on.
I will. I'll do that.
Definitely show me that. But get into Miss Scandal, honey. Since we're talking about presidents and all kind of foolishness like that, this past week's episode just completely floored me when Fitz decided that he wanted to ask Millie for a divorce.
Yeah.
And it just kind of really teed me off because ain't no way in the world that him and Olivia are going to be together. And if Shonda Rhimes do that, then the show needs to be canceled. Point blank, because she should not allow those two to get together. I like the passion, I like the chemistry that Liv and Fitz have, but like for him to actually try to leave his wife just so he can be with his mistress, his hoe, child, that's entirely too much.
I think what more so I'm really wanting to get back to with Scandal because I'm missing it is the team, Olivia's team. Like we're losing them. It's like we're not even really seeing them. All we're seeing is just drama.
Well, see, this is what needs to happen. We're seeing them separated because, see, they don't know about Olivia and Fitz.
Right.
So Olivia's kind of doing her own thing. And so it's going to be more drama when eventually they do find out. Because I think, what's Columbus's character?
Fine.
Columbus's character. Fine, as you say.
They know who Columbus is.
I think he's starting to piece it together just a little bit. Because he's starting to be more and more in sync with Liv. But I really don't think... Well, we need to have some action jackson later on once they find out that, oh my God, Liv has been sleeping with the president, yada, 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 all that good stuff. But it just kind of, pissed me off that Fitz worked up his nerve to ask her for a divorce.
Right.
Because that's so not cool. What else happened on this episode?
Didn't they get that baby? The gay couple. Didn't they get the baby? Was that this episode? He did finally go see the baby in the hospital. That wasn't this episode?
That was last episode.
Oh, goodness.
James. You talking about James and Cyrus?
Yeah, Cyrus.
No.
That wasn't this episode. You sure?
No, I'm positive.
There's too much going on in life for me to remember.
No, but they didn't go get no baby or whatever because Cyrus is back in the, he's back in the office and stuff like that. What else had happened? We basically got the backstory with how Judge Cancer, Hollis, and all them, Cyrus and Liv. And the thing that pissed me off about Liv was you sitting there getting distraught over the fact that Cyrus didn't want you to join in with them, with the whole scandal. But the thing is, where was your morals and shit when you were sleeping with a married man? I just didn't understand that. And that's what hoes do. And Millie's sitting there asking Liv, they were saying how Cyrus said he's going to be the chief of staff. Right. They said that Millie was going to be the first lady. Verna was going to be, the Supreme Court justice. And Millie's sitting there talking to Olivia, talking about, what do you want out of this? She wants your husband. And guess what? She got your damn husband. She wrong for that because, like I said earlier, Olivia Pope is a hoe.
Oh, I knew you was going to say that.
She's a whore. I love her to death. She know her stuff, but she's a hoe. And hoes attack. And she attacked President Fitz. She attacked President Fitz, and she got him from what's that chick name? From Millie.
From Millie.
But anywho, I'm over Scandal. I love it. I'm going to tune in every week because the show is very, very addictive. I'm starting to think it's the spirit.
You think so?
Yeah.
It is addictive, though.
Yeah, it's a little addictive. It's becoming a little we were starting to worship it just a little bit too much.
Nah, we hate when it's going on. Like right now,
Right.
it's a break. It comes back next week. Oh, just so y'all know, it's not coming on this week.
Yeah.
It comes on next week. What's it, the 30th?
So let's talk about American Idol. Tell me about I missed the first episode, so you tell me about the first episode.
Well, to be honest with you, it was a mixed feelings with both episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they started this. My whole opinion, basically, of American Idol this season is that this is not really real drama. I've come to that conclusion that this is not real drama. This is basically to get viewers.
Scripted.
It is. Like, it's like you got Mariah over here throwing shade at one point.
Yeah.
And then the next point, she's, girl, I love you. And then you got Nicki over here saying this shade, and then the next one, she's praising Mariah. It's drama to build viewers. And they didn't even get the viewers. Last year's season premiere actually had more viewers season premiere than this season did.
Oh, really?
So I guess J-Lo brought in more viewers than Nicki did.
And J-Lo don't do nothing.
Just sit there and looks gorgeous, you know.
That's true. But anyway, tell me about the first episode. Tell me about the performance and stuff. Because I didn't really... Yeah, I didn't.
The first episode I really wasn't going to watch. So I didn't really watch the first episode as much. I wasn't really going to even watch American Idol, but I just saw tweets. Twitter is just so, like, informative.
It'll spoil shit for you if you
will.
try not to watch it and wait till you get to your DVR. But anywho, I saw the second episode.
I definitely saw the
So, I felt some type of way that American Idol decided to exploit the little anorexic chick. You know, and, you know, anorexia, it's a serious disease and all that good stuff, but... Like, they really exploited that girl. They didn't have to put all her personal business out there. And she was crying, and she was distraught, and, you know, all kind of stuff like that. I thought it was completely wrong, and, you know, it was just a complete mess. But, and she couldn't even sing, to me. She couldn't sing.
Well, she basically, with me, it's like I was just didn't like how they did exploit it. And then when the stuff she was saying, like, I hate this, and I hope nobody hates me for this, but some of the things she was saying was real funny though. It was like, because like she was like when she ate, she felt it in her legs. Like, did not. I'm like, what are you?
Not good.
What are you eating?
We're laughing at anorexic people.
I'm not laughing at anorexic people. I'm not. But it was just the way. I don't know if they told her to say that, or she really was like saying it because I just want to know, like, in your legs though. But American Idol was doing the most shit with their face. I'm leaving that subject. I'm leaving that subject.
Let's leave that.
What American Idol is this season with these effects though? That's what's really pissing me off. Like, it's like they're going over the top and everything is like effects.
Anyway, let's move on, Trey. Okay, the secret squirrel. So this is the guy.
Oh, God.
His parents, they came up with some type of bogus story that the parents have never ever heard him saying a day in his life. And he's like 20-something years old or whatever the case may be. Yeah. And he was a queen anyway, but he got up there and song, and I didn't think he sounded that good either to make it to Hollywood. But but in a sense, just listening to him sing, his voice was shaking. You probably could tell that he's not a regular singer. Mm-hmm. But I think the story, what got him over to American Idol, because like he said, his parents have never, ever heard him sing. Not even in the shower. Not even in the shower.
Not washing the clothes.
Right. And I know he a queen, so I know they heard him hollering and scooting, all kind of stuff like that. Somewhere in the house, but...
I mean, I think he did Luther some justice. He did some justice.
Next. So we got the girl, Aisha Cotton. You know, she's the professional.
Is that girl who reminds you of Ebony Jenkins? I'm telling you that girl reminds me of Ebony Jenkins.
No. This is the professional dancer. So, you know, they asked her to dance. So she's doing all this stuff like this or whatever. And Nick was like,
Yeah, I was like, Nicki, stop.
So then the heifer proceeds to start singing.
Again.
She wanted to sing Ashanti. This is how she sang.
Go ahead, give us a real name.
She said, I wanna say thank you. She was looking up like this. For being in my life. And so Randy was just like, please stop. Okay. So he was like, chick, you just toned down. You just need to stick to dancing. And she couldn't even do that right. But this Aisha Cotton, that was the funniest clip the whole night. I wanna say thank you. It was just funny. It was just funny. What you think about this whole? I mean, we've kind of talked about it a little bit more, but I think this week is the week that
they're going to Charlotte.
They're coming here to Charlotte, and I think they were around the corner at the little racetrack thing or whatever.
This at their at their Hall of Fame, at their basically like.
Oh, that's Uptown then. So they were Uptown at the Hall of Fame.
I think that's where they were at.
But this is supposed to be the episode where
the drama starts.
Really starts and kicks in between Mariah and Nicki. I would say this though. I actually enjoy what Nicki says though. She's turning out to be a better judge than I thought she was, or whatever, because she does offer some, constructive criticism and things like that.
And she boosted people's confidence too.
Yeah,
she did.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about the last guy who stutters really?
I was in Twitter jail.
Lazaro Arbles or something like that. He has a stuttering problem. And I learned my lesson a long time ago about laughing at people who stutter. But he stutters. And he can barely get words out. And they exploited him too because he doesn't have any friends. No one wants to hang out with him because he stutters, woe is me, all this stuff like that. And then when he sings beautifully. Doesn't stutter or anything like that. And I've heard that, there are some people out there who experience that type of stuff, but he was the last person to make it through, and he has a very beautiful voice though. But again, American Idol, I think, just kind of pushed it too much by exploiting the young man or whatever, his spelling problem. But I'm gonna keep watching for a little bit for the next couple of weeks, and then I'm just gonna do like I always do, stop watching, and then I'll pick it up at the end, because if there's real beef between Mariah and Nicki when the actual live shows start, we'll start to see that.
Yeah, it's not gonna
unless they put it, they put it to the side or something of that nature.
About the guy with stuttering, I actually tweeted about that Brett when he was talking, and I said, you know what, I bet you, because I went to school with a girl who stuttered and she sang, and I said, I bet you when he starts singing, he's not going to stutter.
Well, yeah, that was predictable.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I absolutely knew it, but I didn't know he was going to sound that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he controlled it so good, like he doesn't stutter at all. He has my vote.
I like him. I do like him. I think the American people are going to like him. So I even follow him on Twitter.
Really? Make sure you give me that Twitter name.
Yeah.
Make sure you give me that Twitter.
Speaking of which, follow us on Twitter. I'm Agent Pisces. Pisces is spelled, for everyone who don't know how to spell Pisces, is spelled Pisces. People don't know how to spell Pisces.
I noticed that. People don't know how to spell February either. You kind of get different.
February.
Yes.
February.
It would be black.
Use it in the sentence.
Bye.
But Agent Pisces on Twitter and
Forever, the number 4 ever Trey. That's TREI, not a Y.
So the number 4.
The number 4.
Ever. Are we spelling it the black way or are we spelling it regular?
No, not the black. The regular way.
Okay.
EVR. Mm-hmm. Like Forever
I'm
branded.
just making
so,
sure.
I had that.
Child, please. Anyway, next. So American Idol, we're done with that. What do you think about this whole BET Tuesday night lineup with the Househusbands or the House Hollywood Husbands of Hollywood? That whole Kevin Hart.
Yeah, it's Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart thing. What do you think about that?
I watched both the shows.
And the second generation Wayans.
Yeah. I wasn't really entertained by the Kevin Hart show. I wasn't going to be entertained. I reviewed it before it started. I said, I'm not going to watch this, but I saw people tweeting about it. And so I said, let me go ahead and watch it because I knew that we're doing this and might speak about it. So I said, I watched it, and I wasn't very pleased. The second generation, I watched that. I wasn't really pleased.
Really?
I wasn't.
The second generation Wayne, I like that a little bit better.
Than the Kevin Hart show?
Yeah, the Kevin Hart show.
Yeah, I did like it better.
It was a lot of humor that wasn't funny. See, I'm one that don't think Kevin Hart's funny. I just don't think he's as funny as people make him out to be. He's funny, don't get me wrong, but he's not that funny. So his show and Nick and Boris and
Dwayne,
Nelly and Dwayne, why is he even on there?
Why is Nelly on there? You talking about Nelly or Dwayne?
No, Nelly. No, I don't know why Dwayne's on there.
He's married to Tisha Campbell. She's Mariah Campbell.
But isn't she not relevant anymore?
She is relevant.
What show is she on?
Don't ask me that now.
Okay,
she's on the show, but I mean,
so
she has been on. She's on Martin. She was on Martin. Very popular show.
Yeah. Okay.
And they do stuff behind the scenes though. They have like a company or something. Then they open up a restaurant in LA too. Very popular, famous restaurant. So
I think it wasn't.
No, they're not swingers like Will and Jada supposedly are.
That's a rumor. You shouldn't start rumors like that.
I
But anywho, I didn't like the show. It wasn't funny to me. There were funny parts, but overall, it just wasn't.
What was the funny part to you? Because I don't remember laughing like once. They tried to make that when the boy kicked Kevin in the penis funny, but that wasn't funny. That was kind of reaching. Yeah, that was.
So as you can see, we really don't have much to say about the show, so that just lets you know it's kind of boring. The second Generation Wayans, I thought that was a little bit better. Who are those kids? Like, whose kids are those? Because I thought that the Damon boy was Damon Wayans' son, but that's not his son. I think it's one of their other sister's sons.
That's too much fat. That's too many.
And then it's like 50 of them. And then the other boy, Craig, he's not one of the main Wayne's sons either. It's one of them sister sons. So there's like their nephews or whatever trying to make it in Hollywood. LaToya Luckett. Did you see her get her part?
She did her part though. Yeah. She looked good doing it.
She pulled up in that old school
Lexus on the curb.
And she got the boy, put him in the seat, and was like, whatever. And she stuck him in front of the
But then what she said at the club though when she was drinking that drink?
I don't know.
She said something, I'm not wearing spandex or something, just so you know, something like that. That was funny.
So we'll see how the shows go. I mean, I would say it's a step up from BET from what they normally do. Mm-hmm. But we'll just see how long. I do think that the Wayans thing might last longer. Yeah, that's the whole family tree. And see, that boy belongs to Elvira Wayans. Mm-hmm. And then the other boy, Craig, belongs to Deidre Wayans. Mm-hmm. Or whatever. So that's the whole Wayans thing. They just need to do a reality show, period. Not scripted, being funny, but they just need to do a whole reality show. But I think that's all I got to talk about today. Is there anything else we missing?
I don't think there is anything that we're missing.
So what's coming up this week?
We have another episode of Scandal. No, we don't. No, we don't. We talked about that. That's just
lies and gay rumors and favorites.
Yeah, I guess we're back to American Idol.
Right. So we're back to American Idol. I guess we'll talk about some music industry stuff next week.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tell us about Atlanta. You went to Atlanta this weekend.
I did. I went for MLK. I didn't really go for MLK, but I went during that weekend. I had two best friends that, one was up and one lives there. But it was very nice. I went to a new gay club called Blue Room. It was real nice.
I'm going to pray for you.
Why?
Gay is not the way.
Yeah, hey.
I'm going to pray for you, though.
I hope you already are.
No, not really, but I'm going to pray for you now.
Oh, man.
You need to leave those clubs alone.
I didn't want to go, but I went the last minute because one of my friends was there and wanted to see me, and they was at the club, so I went.
Any stars were there this weekend?
Tamar Braxton.
What did she sing?
They played her song. They played her song.
She lip synced?
I think she did.
What club was she at?
708.
Child, you went to 708?
Yes, I did go to 708. I didn't even know that's what that club was. Only reason I knew what it was at the time because that's where Brandy had went.
I haven't been to 708 since.
It's been made over. Since this last time I went, they kind of...
Junior year in college? Sophomore year in college?
Is the Ultra Lounge the same thing as 708?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
No,
that's different. That's it. Ultra Lounge is different.
Okay, well then that's what it was at. Because someone signed Ultra Lounge, but people were saying it was 708, so it was Ultra Lounge. But then some people said it was 708. I don't know. 708 probably held a party. Ultra Lounge or something like that. You know what that is? That's what it is. 7 inside on the TV.
What? So who else is there? Tamar.
Tamar was there. She did play her song, Love and War. They also played her other song, the Sugar something song. That's the only celebrity that I actually heard about.
Everybody was at the inauguration. Anybody got time to be pulling up in no Atlanta at no damn gay pride? No, this ain't gay pride.
Gay pride?
This is just MLK.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Martin Luther King. This is MLK Day.
It is his birthday. It is not his birthday, but it's his day. It's his day, history. Another day in history. It was made on the same day. Yeah.
But anyway, that's it. That's all we got to talk about tonight. We'll see you guys next week. I think we're going to be in Atlanta next week, this coming weekend for the Battle of the Bands and stuff like that. So we might do a little video or something while we're in Atlanta. But we will see you guys next week. Hit us up on Twitter. We can talk about some stuff that you guys want us to talk about.
Please comment on the videos.
Alexis. Agent Pisces and Forever Trey on Twitter. Follow us. We'll holler at y'all later. Bye-bye.